Good Sunday afternoon. Happy May the 1st. Hope you're all enjoying your bank holiday weekends by the ponds. I'm certainly am, although didn't get to spend too much time by the pond yesterday, but today I've got a bit more time and just enjoying the weather. It's not overly sunny, but it's quite pleasant, so probably about 16-17 degrees, something like that. Ponds at 16 degrees, and fish are relatively active, although he says that, look, and we can't see any fish. Well, there's Daisy, the Surrey. But yeah, the fish are relatively active, enjoying their food, and things are looking nice in the pond, really. Now, a couple of things to report. Firstly, I've started to get a little bit of foam. I think this is a spring thing where the filters are catching up with the fish feeding, etc., and starting to get a little bit of foam. If you look at the skimmer, you can see there's foam in the skimmer. So I gave it a bit of thought the last couple of days and realised I had the materials to make my own protein skimmer of sorts. So I made a protein skimmer and used it overnight, and it has collected some muck, perhaps not as much as I'd liked, but I've made a little adjustment to it today, so I think it will collect more now. But what I'll do is I'll take you over to the table, show you how I made it, and then I'll show you the actual skimmer in action. All the fish are sort of showing themselves now. But more about the fish later. Back to you in a second. Right, so as I said, I've made my own protein skimmer, and really these are all the materials I've used. So I've used a couple of cable ties, a gravel vacuum siphon, and a piece of this mesh. And the reason, everything's got a reason for it. Now, this is the siphon I currently use when I clean my aquariums, and what I've always done with this particular model is the pipe is quite soft, so I've cut it and put this corner in, and that stops the pipe collapsing when you're emptying the tank of water. But actually, for a skimmer, that turned out to be quite handy, because I'd got an old one of these which wasn't working anymore. There's a little, probably won't see it, but in there's a little one-way valve, so the water can only go out of this siphon. It can't siphon back in, and that works where you thrust it up and down when you put it in the water to start the siphon off. You don't have to actually suck on any pipes or anything like that. But anyway, first thing I did with the other one of these is I knocked out all of this little valve in here with a screwdriver, so there was a clear channel up into the exit. And then at this end I took off the whatever you call it, bit on the bottom, took that off and just shortened the pipe a little bit, because this is going, or has gone, into my nexus. So I wanted it to be, the right length. I didn't want it sticking miles out of the nexus. And then what I did was I got an air stone with some air pipe, and then this mesh goes over the bottom of the pipe and is held in place by one of these cable ties. So the reason for this mesh is to stop bits of the K1 media in the nexus getting in this tube. So I just want a tube of water, column of water, for the bubbles to rise up, and on the way up they pick up the dissolved organic content, or proteins, or whatever you want to call it, and then form the foam at the top. And the second cable tie was to cable tie it in position. So we'll just go through that again. So it's basically one of these aquarium siphons. This is a Tetra one. An air stone in the bottom with an air pipe to it. That mesh over the bottom to stop the K1 getting in. So let's go over to the actual skimmer and see it in action. So here is the skimmer I made. You can see there's a little bit of collection in the bottom there. If I move around this side here, we'll see it a bit better. So as you can see, the bubbles are coming up here, and then the foam goes up here and out to my bucket down there. These things, I don't know why, someone will tell me the science, but at night they collect a lot more than they do during the day. But you can see there's bubbles coming up here. Just watch here. So those bubbles will make their way in here. Look, there's some there, and then they'll dissolve and the liquid will run off down into that bucket. Now I did have it a bit lower than this, but I actually think it was too low. It wasn't working very well. I don't think there was enough space here, here, for the bubbles to form the foam. So I've raised it up about 2 to 3 inches today. Well, yeah, 2 inches. And it's made a massive difference. So I'm hoping that tomorrow there'll be far more proteins collected. I couldn't think of the word then. So it just sits here in the nexus. It's powered via this air pump here, and like I say, I've kind of tactically positioned it so it's also over one of the nexus outlets, so that you're getting even more air in it than just the air stone. I tried running it initially without an air stone, just using the nexus outlet, but that wasn't good enough. But this seems to be working quite well. So there you go, Martin's homemade protein skimmer. Now we'll see how much it collects in the next couple of days, and if it collects plenty, then I will keep using it. If it's not really collecting much more than that, then it's not really going to make much effect on the pond. But we'll just have to give it time and see how it goes. Catch you in the next clip. I'm back. So we've discussed the protein skimmer. Time will tell on whether that's going to stay or not. Hopefully it's going to produce lots of muck tonight, and then I'll be happy with it. Now on to the fish. Now remember I said a few weeks ago I'd got my 12 fish and I was keeping my 12 fish, blah blah blah, and then I stupidly went and bought 4 more fish. Well, I sort of reviewed the situation in the week and thought 16's way too many, even though 4 of them are very small. So I decided to go back to having 12 fish, and moved on 3 of the original 12 as well as one of the new ones. because what I realised was I'd got lots of orange and red in the pond and not so much of other colours. So basically I've moved on for orange or red fish, and they're fish that I'd either got two of or didn't quite fit the scheme. So basically the smaller kahaku steps has been moved on. The kajaku karaoke has been moved on. The 3-step Goromo, Geronimo, has been moved on, and the new little high at Surrey. So they've all gone to a friend, and we're back with 12 fish now. There's still 5 Gosanki fish in the pond. There's still 2 showers, 2 Sankis and 1 kahaku now. But then there's lots of other coloured fish, because obviously I've got the 2 little ones growing on that are pretty much single coloured fish, the Achiba and the Chagoi, and they are growing really fast, noticeably growing already, and I've only had them 3 or 4 weeks. And then I've got that little yellow shusui that I really like. That's growing well. So those fish are obviously not orange or red, and will help as they grow balance out the look of the pond. Obviously I've got Daisy here in the foreground, my Shiro at Surrey, who's white and black. You've got Sweet Corn over in the far corner there, the Yamabuki, and Sparkle, the Makashiogon, which have no red or orange on. So they'll give me about 6 fish with red or orange on, and 6 fish without red and orange on. I think that is a reasonable balance. And please, if I buy any more fish, someone shout at me. I really don't need any more fish. I really need to stop my addiction. But it's so difficult, isn't it? You know, you say, oh, I'd like one of those, and then someone will put a picture on Facebook. Oh yeah, I like that. So you've got to learn to be stronger, really. So yeah, that's the fish situation. So we're back to 12 fish, and I'm really happy with it actually. And we'll see how these 12 fish grow. I'm not worried about them getting to be monsters. I'd be very happy if they all grow to 60 to 70 centimetres and stop there. But we'll just have to see how things develop over the coming years. So that's my update on the fish. I cleaned the Nexus this morning, so the water level's down at the minute 2 to 3 inches, and is topping up with RO. I have ordered a new bucket of that Roaphos. I buy it as a 5 litre bucket, which is £96, but a 1 litre container of it costs £30. So as you can see, by buying it in bulk, you make a big saving. And I've bought a new 400 gallon per day RO membrane for the RO device. So as soon as they arrive, I will fit them. We'll fit the RO membrane anyway, and replace some of the Roaphos in the filter. So, waffled on enough. That's going to be it for this week's video. In the next video, I should hopefully be fitting the new RO membrane, replacing some Roaphos, and giving you an update on the protein skimmer. So enjoy the rest of the bank holiday. It's getting close to beer o'clock, so I'm going to crack open a beer and enjoy the rest of Sunday afternoon. Catch you in the next one.